Investment News. I'm Chuck Vela, and this is day 2, which is the final day of the FPA NorCal conference here in beautiful San Francisco. And joining me this morning to kick things off, we're kicking things off big with Dr. Carolyn McClanahan.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. I've been really looking forward to this. As I mentioned, I've been a fan of yours for quite some time, so this is a real treat for me.
No, for me too.
Great. And so Carolyn does a lot of speaking. I was looking you up on LinkedIn, and you're just like a staple at a lot of these FPA events.
I've been speaking a long time, been coming to conferences almost since I became a financial planner.
Absolutely. We're going to talk all about that, and I should also mention that you are president of Life Planning Partners.
Yeah, that's my company.
Okay. So, Carolyn, I know you spoke yesterday, and unfortunately I was recording and had to miss that, but it sounded like a great topic. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so, I was a physician, became a financial planner, and early in my career, I saw that financial planners could do a much better job communicating with clients. And then I actually was on faculty at University of Florida when I was a physician, and I taught medical residents and students, and medical students on bedside manner. I helped teach the bedside manner class. Doctors really do take that, Not all of them. They all need to.
So, hold on. So there's actually a class for bedside manner for doctors?
Is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I can tell you two that I've had that must have either fallen asleep that day or just completely failed that class.
Yeah, and not every place teaches it, and specialists generally don't take it. But, financial planners are basically do the same job as doctors, except you're doing it for people's money instead of their health. And so the communication is still important. You've got to learn how to take a good history and learn how to objectively look at data and then put it together and collaborate with the client to get them to do the right things for themselves. And so I've been wanting to do this talk forever. So NorCal was so kind to let me put it together. And I talked all day yesterday, so I'm losing my voice. Yeah. And everybody loved it, I think. And everybody always tells you they love it, but I feel like the buzz was good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I can tell you firsthand, people were telling me that it was great, so it wasn't just to be nice to you.
Yeah,
it was solidly good. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this conference, this is my first time at FPA NorCal.
Oh gosh, you've been missing out. I've been coming here 15 years now.
I have been.
Yeah.
You know who has you beat by about 2 years?
Michael Kitson.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the one who got me here.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was kind enough to spend some time with goRIA and myself yesterday,
Yeah.
and he was like 15 years, and I didn't realize this conference has been going on for 52 years.
Right, long time.
Yeah, that's really something. And Michael was pointing out something that's probably about how old financial planning as an industry kind of is.
Yeah.
Before then it was just selling some mutual funds.
Yep.
Which is probably a good segue.
Yep.
So I'd love, and we were talking about this a little bit off camera, about your pathway from doctor to broker-dealer to RIA. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, so my husband was an aerospace engineer, and I was a doctor, and he inherited a teeny bit of money, and that was in the mid-90s, and we were very lucky, and that turned that into a nice little pot of money. He hated being an engineer, wanted to switch careers, and we interviewed people who called themselves financial planners, and all they really were interested in was selling products or doing investments and not do real financial planning. We were in our early 30s at that point, and I said to him, look, I don't want you to quit your job. He wanted to become a track coach and photographer, and it's like, I don't
What a great combo.
I know, and I said, I don't want to support you, so you got to make sure your little pile of money's enough to carry your end of the deal. And so everybody we interviewed, they weren't interested in really helping us figure that out. And so I went back to school for fun, fell in love with financial planning, and saw this need for people getting real advice. And so I needed to get my experience requirement for my CFP, and this insurance agency broker dealer, they said they were fee only, but they, back then you could say that sort of thing. And I went to work for them. And I was very blonde. Now this is bottle blonde, but I was very blonde back then.
Well, this is all natural gray, I want to say, for the record.
And so I went to work for them, and I realized that it's really hard to be able to do the right things for clients if you're locked into selling products, and it's always or just gathering assets. And I really wanted to do real financial planning, so I went to FPA events, NAPFA events to learn more about the industry. And I realized that I needed to be an RIA, and I became a fee-only RIA in 2004. We provide holistic planning, just like I dreamed of giving, and we manage all the assets. I think we're about $300 million in assets, but we don't charge based on AUM. We charge flat fees based on complexity, and for that we do all the asset management, all the holistic financial planning that I want to deliver. So I love the company I've created, and to me the RIA model is just the way to go if you really want to be client-centric.
I really think that's true too. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of preaching to the choir here, we're go RIA.
Right.
But here's the deal, right? So many people are realizing now the importance of fiduciary care.
Right.
So I got my CFP about a quarter century ago, and I was so excited. I got this brand new CFP sitting in my office, my first prospect meeting. I was like, look, I want you to know that I work as a fiduciary. You know what the response was?
They had no idea what it meant.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
a guy with a suit the same way the other people
Right.
are with suits. Well, there's a
Right.
big difference.
Right.
Now, you fast forward a quarter century, without question, one of 3 prospective clients that I speak with now, their first question is,
Are you a fiduciary? I know, and I love
Yeah.
that. And to me, all that came about from good press, like Investment News for years has been doing stories on fiduciary, and IRA. CNBC, who I'm on their advisory council, has really been pushing the fiduciary concept. So more and more, it's been out in the press, and NAPFA, FPA, the CFP board have really been focusing on fiduciary. And now the beautiful thing is clients are understanding that financial planning isn't all about investments, that it's about how money fits in your life, and that financial planners are supposed to be your problem solvers, not just salespeople or not just investment managers.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I've got a real problem with the types of advisor you were referencing earlier, where they sit down and boy, they really seem like planners. You know,
Right.
They're using e-money, they're creating really elegant plans, but all those plans, all roads lead to index universal life.
No,
And
my
lots
God,
of
yeah,
them, right?
Yeah.
And why is that? Well, you know, and we're all talking to advisors here. We know why, right? It's got the highest commission of almost any financial product out
Right,
there.
right.
And you know what I call those folks?
What?
Pinos.
What is Pinot?
Pino, P-I-N-O. A Pino is a planner in name
Name
only.
Oh my God! I can't believe I didn't get that. I'm
Yeah.
blonde again. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's very sad because I speak at a lot of conferences. I meet a lot of people, and I really think the broker dealer industry and the insurance industry, they actually brainwash the people that work for them into believing that these are good products, and believing their answers. I actually met somebody here who's working on his PhD, and he, a super smart guy, went to Harvard MBA, and he said, I have been searching for the perfect product to guarantee that people will not run out of money, and it was life insurance. And I'm like, you don't understand the problems.
That's
and
right.
Yeah, it's sad. So we've got a lot of work to do.
It is, and I think it's really incumbent on us in the industry to create the education for the consumers.
Right.
Because it's really, really hard to regulate ethics,
Yep.
as we're seeing.
Right.
There was news this morning where the fiduciary rule, they're fighting against it. And who's fighting against it? The insurance agency.
Yeah,
Why?
exactly.
Because they want those commissions.
Right.
Right? Why is it so hard to just say, look, if you want to sell insurance, give me the option, the same way, for example, we could do pretty easily now with annuities. Strip out the commissions.
Right.
And they start making a little bit more sense.
Right.
Give me the option. Why is it that only 2 states, Florida, which are 2 really different states, Florida and California, are the only 2 states that allow the advisor to rebate insurance commissions? Why can't we all do that?
Right. Well, and to me, so you remember I come from medicine, and I feel that financial planners should be the family doctors of finance. The family doctors are trained to take care of 90 to 95% of problems, and then when you need a specialist, you call in a specialist. So to me, insurance people should be specialists, estate planners should be specialists, tax people should be specialists. The financial advisor should be able to advise on the basics of all those, but if you need a complicated product, then you go to the agent. They can make a commission on that, but they need to be fully trained, because they need to earn money, but they need to be fully
Yes.
transparent on what that is, what the underlying fees and charges are, how a policy really works. The way we deal with insurance in our world is when I have somebody that I know needs like a whole life product because of a certain situation, I actually use an actuary to design the policy so that I can go to the companies and say, this is exactly what I want. I don't want you to sell me anything else. And it works beautifully.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying anything against commission necessarily.
Right.
Commissions onto itself is not necessarily bad.
Right.
But you hit it right on the head. It's got to be transparent.
Yep.
Right. And I really feel that if we can disclose all of our compensation, our fee compensation, our flat compensation, our AUM compensation, and let's say someone needs disability insurance, those only come with commissions.
Right.
Then that's fine. But you know what? Disclose that commission.
Exactly.
Because I tell you what, that Pinot that was selling that really high commission IUL, Index Universal Life,
Right.
if that consumer saw that they were putting $20,000 a year into this IUL, and that advisor's commission was $20,000, at a minimum, they would think maybe twice. Maybe
Yep.
get a second opinion from more of a fee-based advisor. I think that would help.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. I tell you what, would you come on for a full-on podcast? Because I feel like I want to talk about this a little bit more, but we're a little bit out of time right
Yeah,
now.
I could talk about this forever, so happy to do that.
To be continued
Yeah.
then.
Okay, great.
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And
A
thank
real
you
pleasure.
Guys. Yep.
You
Come
bet.
to FPA NorCal next year.
Absolutely. You're missing out because this really is just a taste of the content, and you really should be here. I'll be here as well. I'm sure you will.
I always hope they invite me back every year. So.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, on behalf of goRIA Fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela. We're just starting today off. We have another 3 or 4 segments to do, so stay tuned. We'll see you in about an hour. Thanks for joining us. Thank you again.
Thank you.